Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and we're on the road today. We're traveling a little bit.
That's right. Today we have a lesson that was requested by one of our users, and I think it's a very handy lesson. If we're traveling, we are buying tickets at a train station.
That's right. So I personally love traveling by train. I think it's a very romantic way to see different countries, different places. We're going to learn all about how to get tickets and how to talk about different parts of a train. So let's first listen to our dialogue.
Hi, I would like to purchase a one-way ticket to Brussels, please.
Certainly, sir. This is our train schedule. We have an express train departing every morning and an overnight train that departs at 9 p.m.
How long does it take to get there?
About 12 hours. We currently have tickets available only for first class on the express train. If you'd like, you can choose a sleeper on the overnight train, which is a bit less expensive.
Yeah, I think that's the best option. Do you serve food on a train? 12 hours is such a long time.
Yes, of course. There is a dining car towards the end of the train where they serve meals at all times. We do provide complimentary water and coffee for all of our passengers.
Great, I'll take it.
Here you are, sir. Your train leaves from platform number 9 at 9 on the dot. Remember to be here at least 30 minutes before your scheduled departure time, or else you might miss your train.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Have a great trip.
All right, we're back. So now we're going to take a look at a couple of words that we've picked out for you on Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
So there are many different kinds of tickets you can purchase, you can buy for your train journey. The first kind we're going to talk about is maybe the fastest. This is called an express train.
That's right. So as the name says, it's an express train. That means it's a very fast train. And it depends, because in different places, sometimes they call it the fast train, sometimes they call it an express train. But basically the idea is that it's a very fast train.
And it's fast usually because it stops very few times. For example, if we want to go on the Paris to Berlin train, it won't stop in every single town. It will probably only stop a couple of times.
Exactly. So apart from the express trains that usually they'll go in the daytime, we have an overnight train.
Overnight trains are very fun, or at least they can be fun if you have a comfortable place to sleep. Basically, the idea is you get on the train at night and you sleep on the train and you get off in the morning.
That's right. It's actually a very popular way of traveling, especially if you're on a budget, because, well, you're basically saving yourself one night of spending the night at a hotel.
That's right. So you're going to have to find a place to sleep if you're taking the overnight train. There are usually different options. The most uncomfortable is usually a seat, like a hard seat. But there are oftentimes special cars on a train where you can sleep for these overnight trips. What are those called?
That's right. And those are called sleeper cars, or you choose a sleeper seat.
Right, so that's pretty easy to remember. Sleep, sleeper. The sleeper seats are the seats that fold back like you're lying down. But of course, most places like China and India and Vietnam, for example, have actual cars that have beds in them.
Right, yeah. So you can, as the name says, you can actually sleep on this train. Now, if you're going to buy tickets, you're not going to find a sleeper train on an express train or a train that travels during the day. These are only available at night, usually.
That's right. So sleeper car is what you want to look for if you're traveling overnight. And in those cases, you oftentimes get hungry. You need to eat. So where do you go to eat?
That's right. We're going to look for the dining car on the train.
Okay, so think about the word dining room. Dining room, dining car, this means the place where you eat.
That's right. So we're going to look for a dining car, and it's usually in the front of the train, I think, and you can just go and get a quick meal over there.
That's right, dining car. And finally, we have another very important word here. It's all about getting on and off the train. So where do you do that?
Well, you go to the platform, the specific platform where your train is leaving. So in this case, this guy has to go to platform number 9.
Okay, so usually that means that there is a cement or a stone block where you stand, the train comes to the station, people get off, you get on. So the place where that all happens is the platform.
That's right. So remember that in airplanes or in airports, usually you look for a terminal. For train stations, you're looking for a platform.
All right, and that number is going to be very important. So look at your ticket and find out which platform your train will be arriving or departing from.
That's right. Okay, so now why don't we review these words? Let's listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit.
Hi, I would like to purchase a one-way ticket to Brussels, please.
Certainly, sir. This is our train schedule. We have an express train departing every morning and an overnight train that departs at 9 p.m.
How long does it take to get there?
About 12 hours. We currently have tickets available only for first class on the express train. If you'd like, you can choose a sleeper on the overnight train, which is a bit less expensive.
Yeah, I think that's the best option. Do you serve food on the train? 12 hours is such a long time.
Yes, of course. There is a dining car towards the end of the train where they serve meals at all times. We do provide complimentary water and coffee for all of our passengers.
Great. I'll take it.
Here you are, sir. Your train leaves from platform number 9 at 9 on the dot. Remember to be here at least 30 minutes before your scheduled departure time, or else you might miss your train.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Have a great trip.
Okay, so we've got some really great phrases today on Fluency Builder. Not that many of them, but they're very useful. The first one is a kind of ticket you can buy.
That's right. We're looking for a one-way ticket to Brussels.
Okay, so a one-way ticket means you go to Brussels, but you don't come home. Maybe you have a flight later, or you have a car waiting for you. You don't need a return ticket on that train. One-way ticket is the opposite of a round-trip ticket.
That's right. So usually, for example, if you live in New York and you're going on vacation, you're going to buy a round-trip ticket because you need to go back to your city. But in this case, we're getting a one-way ticket, so we're just buying a ticket that'll only take us there. It's not going to bring us back.
Okay, one-way ticket. And after that, we have a good question. This is something we can ask in many, many different situations. Here, the person buying the ticket wants to know, how long does it take to get there? He's talking about Brussels.
That's right. So let's take a look at this structure. We can say, how long does it take to... And then we can add another verb there. So, for example, we want to know the amount of time it is going to require. For example, here we are asking, how long does it take to get there? In this case, to Brussels. We are asking how much time is needed to go to Brussels. But what if we change the last part?
Well, there's anything. We could say anything here. We could say, how long does it take to bake a pizza? Or, for example... Marco, how long does it take for you to do your hair in the morning?
Like 20 seconds.
Okay, not very long.
Not very long.
You could even change the name of the place you're going to. So how long does it take to get to Beijing?
Exactly. So just remember this structure when you want to ask the amount of time needed. Of course, there are other ways, and sometimes it's very common to make a little bit of mistake saying, how much time to Beijing or something like this.
Or how many hours? We don't really say that in English. We say how much time. So how much time does it take?
All right. And what about when the person that's selling the ticket said, okay, the train leaves from platform number 9 at 9 on the dot.
Okay, so I'm not really sure where this idea of a dot comes from, but I think it has to do with clocks. So basically, when you look at a clock and all of a sudden the hand comes to 12, so it's 9 o'clock, the hand is on the 12, that is on the dot. That means exactly.
Okay, so the train is leaving at 9:00, not 9:30, not 9:15. It's leaving exactly at 9 o'clock.
So we can also say this in normal speech when we're talking to our friends. I could say, Marco, we're going to leave at 6 on the dot. Any later and we'll miss the movie.
Exactly. So, but when you say on the dot, you're usually emphasizing that it leaves promptly. It's not going to be late, and you're kind of emphasizing a person to be on time.
Yes, please don't be late, because so 9:01, or in my case 6:01, Oh, 4, these are not okay because they're too late.
Exactly. So if I say I'm going to pick you up at 4 o'clock on the dot, it usually means I don't really want to wait. So please be ready at 4.
All right, so on the dot.
All right. So now let's listen to our dialogue for the last time, and we'll be back to talk with you a little bit more.
Hi, I would like to purchase a one-way ticket to Brussels, please.
Certainly, sir. This is our train schedule. We have an express train departing every morning and an overnight train that departs at 9 p.m.
How long does it take to get there?
About 12 hours. We currently have tickets available only for first class on the express train. If you'd like, you can choose a sleeper on the overnight train, which is a bit less expensive.
Yeah, I think that's the best option. Do you serve food on a train? 12 hours is such a long time.
Yes, of course. There is a dining car towards the end of the train where they serve meals at all times. We do provide complimentary water and coffee for all of our passengers.
Great, I'll take it.
Here you are, sir. Your train leaves from platform number 9 at 9 on the dot. Remember to be here at least 30 minutes before your scheduled departure time, or else you might miss your train.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Have a great trip.
All right. So you mentioned you really like to travel on trains.
I do.
Why is that?
Well, I like that trains are kind of slow. So when many trains are slow. Some trains, as we said, like express trains are faster. But if you're traveling in a new place, it's a wonderful way to see the country. Because maybe you're going from one city to another city. Well, it's nice to see what's in between cities.
Exactly.
And so that's why I like to be on trains.
I actually also really enjoy taking the overnight trains because I sometimes get a little bit uncomfortable if I travel for too long, for example, on an airplane or a car. So if I fall asleep and I wake up where I wanted to go, it's really nice.
Well, and I think it's nice also to be kind of rolled asleep, lulled asleep
Exactly.
by the train. Have you had any very memorable train experiences?
Traveling around, I have met some interesting people, and actually they, local people, so they start talking to you and really curious because obviously you're a foreigner in their country and try to get to know you and maybe even give you a little bit of advice. And if you don't speak the language, it's even a little bit more interesting because you're trying to communicate and you pick up a lot of words.
That's true. I actually heard some really interesting stories from people who took the Trans-Siberian Railway from Beijing to Moscow. They said the more vodka you drink, the more foreign languages you speak. So I don't know if any of our users have done that. You guys should let us know if you have any fun train travel experiences. I know Marco certainly has some. I've got some of my own. So we'll all have to share on our website, EnglishPod.com.
Right. And if you have any other questions, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod audio review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A ticket that allows you only to go to a certain place. One-way ticket. To leave, start a voyage. Depart. A flat elevated portion of ground. Platform. On time, precisely at a certain time. On the dot. Planned at a specific time to leave. Scheduled departure time.
Let's try that faster.
To leave, start a voyage. Depart. Planned at a specific time to leave. Scheduled departure time. A flat elevated portion of ground. Platform. A ticket that allows you only to go to a certain place. One-way ticket. On time, precisely at a certain time. On the dot.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
One-way ticket. I have a one-way ticket to Paris and have no plans on ever coming back to North America. One-way ticket. My friend bought a one-way ticket to the middle of China and then managed to travel around for a month on the generosity of the people he met. One-way ticket. I only need to buy a one-way plane ticket because I plan on taking the train back. Depart. The train will depart at 6:30. Depart. We will depart as soon as we have de-iced the plane. Depart. The bus will be departing again in 10 minutes, so use the washroom quickly. Platform. We waited in the waiting room at the train station for half an hour before they finally let us onto the platform. Platform. I only had 3 minutes until the train would leave, so I ran down the platform as fast as I could. Platform. The Hogwarts Express leaves from platform 9 3/4. On the dot. They left at 10 p.m. on the dot. On the dot. She arrived at 7:05 on the dot. On the dot. I think that the artist's representation of Shanghai in this painting is right on the dot. Scheduled departure time. The scheduled departure time for your plane is 1:45. Scheduled departure time. The plane has been delayed 1 hour from the scheduled departure time. Scheduled departure time. I received an email saying that our scheduled departure time has been moved ahead by half an hour.
Hello everyone and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have another holiday lesson for you guys. It's an intermediate level lesson, but it's not about Christmas and it's not about New Year's. So what's this holiday, Marco?
It's like after Christmas but before New Year's.
Okay, so let's look at this holiday in today's vocabulary preview.
Vocabulary preview.
Alright, so as you noticed in the title, this is called Boxing Day. Boom, boom, boom. Right.
So like fighting boxing
No. Kind of like boxes, right? It's more related to boxes.
Exactly. So this is a holiday that we don't actually celebrate in America. It's celebrated in what are called Commonwealth countries. That means countries that used to be a part of Great Britain or that are a part of Great Britain. So England,
Okay.
Scotland, Canada, Australia. And this is a day where, well, it's considered a holiday because it's a bank holiday. That means all the banks close. No one's at work. It's the day after Christmas, so it's December 26th. And it's traditionally a day when you give money or gifts to the poor.
Okay. And so this is more or less what we're going to be talking about, but more modern, right? Before it was like that, but now it's kind of become this shopping thing, right?
It has. It's a day when everyone goes to the sales after Christmas to return things or to buy new things. So we're going to hear about this right away in today's dialogue. And when we come back, we'll be talking about some of the phrases and words that you've heard.
What do you think of this one?
So-so.
And this one? Too flashy?
Nah, not too flashy.
Ugh, and this sweater from my aunt, isn't it hideous?
Yes.
Are you even listening? I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
And I'm trying to watch the game, but you're yapping on about your new clothes.
Well, I have to decide which gifts to keep and which to exchange for better ones when I go to the Boxing Day sales this afternoon.
Well, could you do me the favor of making this quick? It's the third quarter and you've been blabbering on since the first.
Oh, your precious game. You watch the same game every year, and each year your beloved hometown team loses by at least 3 goals.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't just insult the Salisbury Seals, did you? Why don't you just go return all those stupid clothes and not come back until the sales are over?
I might just. Enjoy your stupid game.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
All right, great. So we're back, and interesting, the couple fighting right after Christmas.
Well, I think it's very common to hear fights around the holidays. People are very stressed out.
And tired of dealing with family and presents and all the stress, right?
Exactly.
But we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Right now, why don't we take a look at 4 key words in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, these first 2 words are words that the wife uses in talking about some of these clothes that she got as presents. So she says, well, she asks her husband, is this too flashy?
Flashy.
Flashy.
All right, so, flash, like the camera flash, right?
Yeah.
This big light. Now, flashy, when you're talking about clothes or an object, it's too noticeable, right?
It's too noticeable, too bright, too loud. So, for example, a black shirt is not flashy.
But an orange shirt.
An orange shirt with buttons and bells and
Black.
rhinestones, diamonds, that's flashy.
All right,
okay?
flashy.
Flashy can also mean something that it's supposed to look expensive.
Okay. So that sweater was a little bit flashy, according to her. And, but also she talked about another sweater being hideous.
So hideous is an ugly word and it means ugly.
Ugly.
Okay, so I could say this sweater is hideous. That means it's not only ugly, it's really ugly.
Okay, it's more than ugly. All right, a hideous sweater. And moving on, the guy now was a little bit irritated and stressed out, and he said, you keep yapping on about your new clothes. So what is this yapping on?
Well, yap is a sound like yap, 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 yap.
Right.
So yapping, to yap on about means to continue to talk and talk and talk about something.
Okay.
Because he's watching the football game on
Right.
TV and she's talking and talking and talking and he's annoyed. So this is rude. You say, stop yapping about this, or stop yapping on about your game.
All right.
It's very rude. It means just stop talking. I'm annoyed.
And, well, then he mentioned another phrase that is pretty much the same thing, right? Blabbering on.
To blabber on about, means to talk about something, but to not really make sense. Okay, so it's just worthless talk.
So you're just talking to talk. You're not really saying anything interesting.
Exactly. And so sometimes we make fun of people who blabber on about things because they're not important to us or they sound stupid.
All right. Okay, so 4 key words there. Blabbering on, yapping on. Why don't we listen to them again in the dialogue?
What do you think of this one?
So-so.
And this one? Too flashy?
Nah, not too flashy.
Oh, and this sweater from my aunt, isn't it hideous?
Guess.
Are you even listening? I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
And I'm trying to watch the game, but you're yapping on about your new clothes.
Well, I have to decide which gifts to keep and which to exchange for better ones when I go to the Boxing Day sales this afternoon.
Well, could you do me the favor of making this quick? It's the 3rd quarter and you've been blabbering on since the 1st.
Oh, your precious game. You watch the same game every year, and each year your beloved hometown team loses by at least 3 goals.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't just insult the Salisbury Seals, did you? Why don't you just go return all those stupid clothes and not come back until the sales are over?
I might just. Enjoy your stupid game.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
All right, we're back. So now we have a couple of different phrases that we want to look at on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
Okay, so this first phrase is very closely related to the days after Christmas, especially here on Boxing Day. We've got someone who's talking about going to the stores, to the sales, to exchange her gifts for better gifts. Okay, to exchange something for something better. This is a very common construction. It's an important phrase when talking about shopping.
So when we look at this construction, you would say to exchange this sweater for a better one or for a larger one.
Exactly. So you can change the adjective, the word that's describing it. So you can say to exchange these shoes for bigger ones. I could also joke and I could say, I'm going to exchange my boyfriend for a better one.
Right.
If he's being rude to me.
Okay, so to exchange something for something else.
Exactly.
All right. And then we saw another phrase that the husband replied to when she offended him with his football team. He said, oh, no, you didn't.
Didn't what?
I know, didn't what? No, you didn't what?
All right, so this, like you said, doesn't make sense alone, but some cultural context might help. in English, we often say this phrase to mean, "Oh no, you didn't just say that."
Or you didn't just insult my team.
He's saying, "I can't believe you just said that." He's upset because what she said was rude or mean.
Okay.
Okay, so I could say, Marco, I think Ecuador sucks.
Oh no, you didn't.
I did just say it. I don't think so, actually.
Right.
But
so it's usually a response, right? You have to wait until somebody maybe says something mean or something that, really hurts your feelings or you don't agree with when you respond to this. But you're usually very, very offended, right?
Exactly. It's always a response to a comment that has made you angry or upset.
Okay. And our last phrase is when they finished talking and they were fighting, she left and said, "I might just."
Just what?
I know, just what?
See, again, these are common phrases, but they don't seem to make much sense alone. I might just. So let's listen to, this is a response. Again, this is a response to the line before it. Why don't you just go and return all of those stupid clothes and not come back until much later? And she says, I might just do exactly what you just said.
Okay.
She's threatening him. She's saying, I might just go out and not come back for 10 hours.
All right, I might just do that.
Okay, so that's a way to say, what you said, I might do that. And I'm threatening you.
So again, it's usually a response, right? Or a threat, as you said.
So I could say, Marco, why don't you just leave?
All right, I might just.
Uh-oh. What am I going to do in the studio
By
alone?
yourself. All right, so 3 interesting phrases there. Why don't we listen to all the words and phrases again in our dialogue one last time.
What do you think of this one?
So-so.
And this one? Too flashy?
Nah, not too flashy.
Oh, and this sweater from my aunt, isn't it hideous?
Yes.
Are you even listening? I'm trying to have a conversation with you.
And I'm trying to watch the game, but you're yapping on about your new clothes.
Well, I have to decide which gifts to keep and which to exchange for better ones when I go to the Boxing Day sales this afternoon.
Well, could you do me the favor of making this quick? It's the 3rd quarter and you've been blabbering on since the 1st.
Oh, your precious game. You watch the same game every year, and each year your beloved hometown team loses by at least 3 goals.
Oh, no, you didn't. You didn't just insult the Salisbury Seals, did you? Why don't you just go return all those stupid clothes and not come back until the sales are over?
I might just. Enjoy your stupid game.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
All right, we're back. So Boxing Day, as you said, is usually a Commonwealth thing. In the United States, you don't really have it, right?
We do not. My family, I don't know why, but my family sometimes celebrates it. We have friends who come over and we have a nice Boxing Day meal. But
okay.
I've been told that the tradition in Commonwealth countries is to watch sporting events, local sporting events, and to go shopping for all these sales and bargains and exchange all those ugly, hideous, annoying or bad gifts that you received at Christmas.
Right. So it's usually like the after Christmas sales.
Exactly. So if you have any special Boxing Day traditions, I'd be very curious to hear them. Again, not a holiday related to the sport boxing. It's spelled the same way and it looks the same, but they're very different. No. So if you have any stories or questions about the things that we talked about today, please do let us know on our website, englishpod.com.
All right. We'll see you guys there. And until next time.
Bye, everyone.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Smart and noticeable, but in a rather vulgar way. Flashy. Bark in a high-pitched tone. Nag. Yap. Give something and receive something in return. Exchange. An occasion for buying at special price. Sale. Help someone. Do someone the favor.
Let's try that faster.
Give something and receive something in return. Exchange. Smart and noticeable, but in a rather vulgar way. Flashy. Bark in a high-pitched tone. Nag. Yap. Help someone. Do someone the favor. An occasion for buying at special price. Sale.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Flashy. I don't like jewelry with lots of diamonds because I think it is too flashy. Flashy. Her sequined dress was way too flashy. Flashy. The Las Vegas Strip is known to have flashy hotels, flashy casinos, and flashy cars. Yap. I tried to think of an excuse to leave, as my date kept on yapping about sports statistics. Yap. She yapped on all night about how her and her prom date were meant for each other. Yap. He kept yapping on and on about how he was right and his father was wrong. Exchange. Most stores have an exchange policy if you want to return what you bought. Exchange. When I got home, I found out that the color of the tablecloth didn't match the kitchen at all, so I took it back to the store and exchanged it for a different color the next day. Exchange. In exchange for your sparkle sticker, I will give you 2 of my big stickers. Sale. Many stores expand their Boxing Day sales up until New Year's Eve. Sale. The mall is usually very crowded on Boxing Day because of the special sales. Sale. Clearance sales usually have big discounts because the purpose of the sale is to get rid of all the old merchandise. Do someone the favor. Can you do me the favor of turning off the television? It's on all the time. Do someone the favor. Can you do us the favor of handing over your wallet so no one will get hurt? Do someone the favor. Can you do me the favor of letting me know you have to use the bathroom before we get into the car?
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking about a dream home. So building the home of your dreams.
That's right, and this lesson today is advanced, so it might be a little bit hard. And we're going to be taking a look at not only some vocabulary related to your home or decorations and stuff, but also how to treat your loved one in a nice way, or little, what do you call them, nicknames?
Cute names, pet names.
Pet names.
That's right.
Okay.
So stay tuned. We'll be talking about very specific things having to do with building a home and home remodeling. And so we'll hear this dialogue one time, but when we're back in just a minute here, we'll be talking about what those things mean.
Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, let's get straight to it. You have saved up your money for years and are now ready to build your dream home. What did you have in mind?
A suburban bungalow straight out of the 60s. A perfect lawn with minimal landscaping, a brick patio in the backyard with an old-fashioned grill, quaint lawn furniture, and a swimming pool. A 2-car carport, pastel siding, and a gable roof, completed with white shutters and a white picket fence.
Honey?
In the living room, we would have moss green rugs and a fireplace with a stone mantel and wood paneling on the walls. In the kitchen, the cupboards would be a pale yellow, and we would have a turquoise metal oven and vinyl flooring.
Sweetie, but I was thinking of more a modern style house, an open concept house, all glass, wood, metal, and concrete.
But sweetums, there's always a lot of wasted space in those kinds of homes. Besides, it's just a fad. It doesn't have the homey feeling the old homes do.
Sweetie Pie, it's not a lot of wasted space. It is relaxing, and the house would be eco-friendly with an in-floor heating system and designed to retain the heat of the sun in the winter and keep the house cool in the summer. We would have solar panels on the roof.
Do you know how much those things cost?
What about your vintage furniture, dearest? And instead of a lawn, which is also a lot of wasted space and would require environmentally harmful pesticides, we would have a fish pond in the backyard and a garden that would cover the whole yard so we could grow our own food.
But Buttercup, I thought you always said that you loved visiting your grandmother's house.
And I thought you, Mr. Scientist, were all up on saving the planet with your technological advancements.
Well, I am just going to get some coffee while you two keep discussing. All right, we're back. So apparently the couple can't seem to agree. He wants something different than what she does, and in the end, I think they were a little bit irritated with each other.
Doesn't this always happen, though? I mean, my dream home is probably not your dream home.
I don't know. It's weird. But, I mean, you would probably have to, I don't know, compensate somehow or
well, that's the beauty of compromise. I think you can go back and forth, but with your loved one or your spouse, you have to make some decisions about what you want and what they want.
All you need to do is give a guy his own room in which he can decorate and do whatever he wants with it. That's all you need. No, not me, just any guy. Just, you want to decorate the house in any way you want, fine, but just give us one room, like 5 meters by 5 meters, where we can put anything we want.
A beer cooler, a TV, a PS3, a sound system, and a couple guitars.
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's you described it.
I've been to your house, I know. Anyway, we've got a lot of great words here in language takeaways, so let's take a peek at some of those.
Language takeaway.
All right, so the first word that we have, or it's actually a concept, minimal landscaping.
Okay, so minimal is a style, minimalist actually, and minimal landscaping is this kind of style of, designing your lawn or your garden.
Okay.
So minimal means not having adornments or decorations.
Okay. So it's kind of like the less is more type thing.
Exactly. So minimal architecture could be very simple, lots of clean lines, not much decoration. It's the opposite of something that's baroque and highly ornamented.
Yeah, no, I don't like that. I'm into minimal. All right, minimalist. Anyways, we have minimal landscaping. And well, he's talking about his patio and an old-fashioned grill. And he said quaint lawn furniture.
Quaint is sometimes, well, it's usually kind of a bad thing. We say something is quaint in the way of saying that it's cute, but we don't really like it because it's maybe old-fashioned or, kind of old style. So, isn't that quaint? It's something that people from the city often say about people in the country, at least in America. So, because, I went to school on the East Coast and I'm from the Midwest. So people on the East Coast would say, oh, your house is so quaint. It's, small and cute and old fashioned.
Right.
Because they live in a big, fancy New York apartment or whatever. So quaint is usually something that's not the nicest. But
so he's looking for some lawn furniture that's not like plastic or new. It's more like old fashioned, maybe wood, right?
Right, and kind of traditional and not fancy.
Okay.
It's kind of simple.
Now he's also talking about the house, and he wants a 2-car carport, pastel siding, and a gable roof. So now we know what a roof is, but what is a gable roof?
A gable is a thing, right? And it's almost like an extension of the roof in certain parts. For example, on a traditional Cape Cod style house, you have windows in the front that they're not a part of the roof. They're an extension.
They're kind of like
come out.
popping out like eyes.
Exactly. They're coming out like eyes. And so the roof, obviously you need a roof on top of those windows. So that kind of roof, that little extension, that's called a gable.
Okay.
And so there's a wonderful book that's famous in American history called The House of Seven Gables. That means that on this roof of the house, there are 7 different parts that come out. 7 gables. It's very unique.
Those houses usually look a little bit scary.
They do. Victorian and imposing.
All right. So you have a gable roof. Now you have shutters and a white picket fence. This is typical. Everyone talks about a white picket fence around their house.
That's right. There was even a TV show in America years ago called Picket Fences.
Really?
And I think a picket fence is kind of this ideal in American culture about having your own home in the suburbs and having your own space. And so around your yard, around your garden, you have this white picket fence. And so a picket is I think the pointed part. So a picket fence is thin pieces of wood that stand in the ground and are connected to protect your property from other people coming inside.
Okay. So that's a white picket fence. You'll hear it all the time. Usually in movies or in TV shows, they talk about having their own little house with their dog and a white picket fence.
Exactly. 2 kids, 2 cars.
And a white picket fence. All right. So now the woman argued that she wanted something a little bit more modern. And, the guy said, you know what, that's, it's just wasted space. And those types of homes are just a fad.
A fad. So a fad is something that is passing. It's something that's popular for a short time, but then it goes away. It's not popular anymore.
Right.
So,
for example, I think for a while, remember those shoes? They used to have little red lights in the back and the heel.
oh yeah, LA Lights.
LA Lights.
That's right.
Those were a fad. It
Absolutely.
was really popular for like a year. Everyone had them, everyone wore them, and then they just went away.
One of my favorite fads of the 1980s were those shirts that would change color if the room temperature changed color. So if you go outside and it's hot, they would become bright pink. But if you're in a cold room, they would go blue and green. It was really fun, but they're definitely out of fashion these
I don't
days.
think they wear them anymore. So that's a fad. That's something that's temporary. It's popular for a while. So he called her house a fad, and she says, well, what about your house? All this vintage furniture. What's vintage?
Vintage, well, some people think that vintage is a fad. A lot of people really enjoy buying vintage furniture or vintage clothing. Vintage means old.
Old.
So
It's a nice way of saying old, or like a nice or cool way of saying old.
Yeah, so it's almost like, for example, right now, 1940s and 50s clothes are very popular. A lot of girls are into this kind of style, so it's called, vintage clothing because it's not from today's styles. It's an old style. Or you could even call, those big flowing dresses from the 1970s vintage clothing. So vintage furniture would be furniture that comes from a different time, a different era, and
But
that
they're
it's popular now.
Right, they're popular now. Or people like to buy them now.
That's right. So they're special because they come from a different time.
Okay. So those are the words that we have for today on Language Takeaway. Why don't we move on now to some pet names or some sweet ways that you can call your loved ones on Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
So the reason this dialogue is very funny is because we have these two people who are clearly in disagreement about the kinds of furniture and house they want, but they're being so nice to each other. They have these cute names for each other. So it's really, I don't know, it's really funny.
It almost seems like they're newlyweds, but apparently they've been saving up their entire life. So maybe they're just one of those really loving couples.
Oh, sweetums, cutie pie, cutie.
All right, so that's the
Babe.
first one. Sweetums.
Sweetums. So obviously the main part of this word is sweet. Sweetums. This is a way to say, hey, sweetie.
Okay.
Sweetums.
Sweetums. So you can say sweetie or sweetums.
Exactly.
And that's a nice way of saying to somebody. Or you can go sweetie pie.
Sweetie pie. So pie is a food, It's like
Pie is
a
sweet.
dessert. It's the sweet. So sweetie pie. We could say honey pie.
Honey pie, sweetie pie.
So these are all cute. And the nice thing about these kind of pet names, these cute names, is you can change them if you want. And they're yours. So you could say, honey pie, sugar bun. They're silly, but there's no real rule. But these are the most common.
Right.
Sweetums and sweetie pie.
Okay. Now, moving on to something a little bit maybe more formal. Dearest.
This makes me think of my grandparents.
Oh, really?
Dearest. So dearest comes from dear. Dearest is the most dear. So someone who's the most important to you.
Okay.
And so you could say mummy dearest, mother dearest.
Oh, really? You heard that somewhere?
Oh, yeah.
Do people call that their mothers like mother dearest?
Mother dearest. No, it's very 1930s.
I'm so arrogant.
It is. Well, it's an old time thing. It's not. We do not say this anymore. But
Yeah.
you can say, oh, dearest, would you mind moving the car, please?
I like the accent you put, kind of like English. All right. And the last one, buttercup. This is really popular.
This is really popular, and you've heard this in a song before. You want to sing the song? You want me to sing the
No,
song?
you sing the song. Why do you build
Why do you build me up? Buttercup, baby.
yeah.
Okay, so that was in a lot of movies. The word is buttercup.
Buttercup.
Also in the movie The Princess Bride was the character Princess Buttercup. And so this is a sweet, obviously a sweet thing. I think a buttercup is a flower.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so these are all words you can use, names you could use with men and women, but buttercup is mostly women. I think the other ones are more general.
But do you think, do guys say to their loved ones, like, sweetum, sweetie pie?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
All right, so I guess, guys, if you want to be really sweet and you want to win over the hearts of the ladies, you can use these words as well.
Another popular one is babe,
Babe.
which is more of a young person thing to say.
Yeah, I think it's more modern as well. Babe.
Honey or babe.
Baby.
Baby. You're verging on not so sweet.
No, but like, hey, baby, how are you? It's like, nice. But like, not like, hey, baby.
All right. Well, we're going to leave you with that thought and go listen to this dialogue one more time, but we'll be back in a moment.
Mr. and Mrs. Robinson, let's get straight to it. You have saved up your money for years and are now ready to build your dream home. What did you have in mind?
A suburban bungalow straight out of the 60s. A perfect lawn with minimal landscaping, a brick patio in the backyard with an old-fashioned grill, quaint lawn furniture, and a swimming pool. A 2-car carport, pastel siding, and a gable roof, completed with white shutters and a white picket fence.
Honey?
In the living room, we would have moss green rugs and a fireplace with a stone mantel and wood paneling on the walls. In the kitchen, the cupboards would be a pale yellow, and we would have a turquoise metal oven and vinyl flooring.
Sweetie, but I was thinking of more a modern style house, an open concept house, all glass, wood, metal, and concrete.
But sweetums, there's always a lot of wasted space in those kinds of homes. Besides, it's just a fad. It doesn't have the homey feeling the old homes do.
Sweetie Pie, it's not a lot of wasted space. It is relaxing, and the house would be eco-friendly with an in-floor heating system and designed to retain the heat of the sun in the winter and keep the house cool in the summer. We would have solar panels on the roof.
Do you know how much those things cost?
What about your vintage furniture, dearest? And instead of a lawn, which is also a lot of wasted space and would require environmentally harmful pesticides, we would have a fish pond in the backyard and a garden that would cover the whole yard so we could grow our own food.
But Buttercup, I thought you always said that you love visiting your grandmother's house.
And I thought you, Mr. Scientist, were all up on saving the planet with your technological advancements.
Well, I am just going to get some coffee while you two keep discussing. All right, we're back. So, apart from this, decorations and stuff, do you agree with the vintage home, the more like minimalist thing, or do you like the open concept one, the bigger one?
I love the look of minimalism, but as a place to live, it's not comfortable, right? And so when I think of an aesthetic that I like, a look that I like, I really like kind of dark wood, velvety, 19th century kind of.
Wow.
Yeah. Like, I think of old Vienna.
You like Castle Dracula?
No, not dark. I like things to be open. And I like a lot of natural light, but I also like oversized, kind of heavy furniture and really luscious fabrics and things like that. So that's I'm
actually completely different because I do like this open concept. I like those houses that... I like the way they look inside as well as outside when they're kind of squared, big windows, clean lines. Inside is like, for example, in the kitchen, you have polished aluminum or polished steel furniture in the kitchen, as well as a lot of white and red or black, especially. I kind of like that kind of open spaces.
Primary colors.
Yeah. Flat screen TVs on the wall and stuff like that. Like
remote controls.
IKEA lamps. Yeah, like those remote controls where you can open your curtains, your TV, and the lights all at the same time. I kind of like that stuff.
Cool. Well, let us know what you guys like because everyone has their own opinion on what a beautiful house is. And if you have any pictures, feel free to share them with us on our website, EnglishPod.com.
All right. We'll see you guys there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Something you really want to do. Dream. Place where a person lives. Home. Located or residing in a suburb. Suburban. A house which is built on one level. Bungalow. The years from 1960 to 1969. The 60s. The smallest possible amount or size. Minimal. A view across an area of land. Landscaping. An area of the garden with a hard surface. Patio. Unusual or old-fashioned. Quaint. A place where you park your car. Carport. A kind of dry colour in sticks. Pastel. Material attached to the outside of a building. Siding. The triangular upper part of a wall. Gable. The top of a building. Roof. Covers unfold in front of a window. Shutter. The shelf above a fireplace. Mantle. Sheets of wood fit into a frame to form a wall. Panelling. A bluish-green precious stone. Turquoise. Firm plastic which can be bent. Vinyl. Used as a term of endearment. Sweetums. Fashion. Fad. Having a feeling of home, comfortable. Homey. Used as a term of endearment. Sweetie pie. Not harmful to the environment. Eco-friendly. Installed in the floor. In floor. A system for keeping rooms warm. Heating. To keep or keep possession. Retain. Relating to the sun, using its light. Solar. A flat section of a wall, door. Panel. Representative of the best and most typical. Vintage. Used as terms of endearment. Dearest. A chemical substance used to kill insects. Pesticide. A creature living in water. Fish. A small body of water. Pond. A plant with small yellow flowers. Buttercup. Based on scientific and industrial progress. Technological. Improvement or development. Advancements. A fence consisting of pickets. Picket fence. A form or style of room. Open concept. Have all knowledge or information of something. All up on.
Let's try that faster.
A bluish-green precious stone. Turquoise. Unusual or old-fashioned. Quaint. Place where a person lives. Home. The triangular upper part of a wall. Gable. An area of the garden with a hard surface. Patio. Based on scientific and industrial progress. Technological. The top of a building. Roof. Material attached to the outside of a building. Siding. Used as a term of endearment. Sweetums. Used as terms of endearment. Dearest. Firm plastic which can be bent. Vinyl. Something you really want to do. Dream. The years from 1960 to 1969. The 60s. Representative of the best and most typical. Vintage. Improvement or development. Advancements. A system for keeping rooms warm. Heating. A chemical substance used to kill insects. Pesticide. A view across an area of land. Landscaping. A house which is built on one level. Bungalow. Installed in the floor. In floor. Having a feeling of home, comfortable. Homey. Located or residing in a suburb. Suburban. To keep or keep possession. Retain. Fashion. Fad. A place where you park your car. Carport. A fence consisting of pickets. Picket fence. A form or style of room. Open concept. A small body of water. Pond. Relating to the sun, using its light. Solar. A creature living in water. Fish. Covers unfold in front of a window. Shutter. Not harmful to the environment. Eco-friendly. The shelf above a fireplace. Mantle. A plant with small yellow flowers. Buttercup. Sheets of wood fit into a frame to form a wall. Panelling. The smallest possible amount or size. Minimal. Used as a term of endearment. Sweetie pie. Have all knowledge or information of something. All up on. A flat section of a wall, door. Panel. A kind of dry colour in sticks. Pastel.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Picket fence. The only thing holding in the cattle is the old wooden picket fence, so it's no wonder that the bull so easily charged through it and escaped. Picket fence. In her daydreams, she always imagined herself newly married and living in a house with a white picket fence in a picturesque countryside. Picket fence. My mother grew up in a neighbourhood where everyone's yard was enclosed by a picket fence. Nowadays, some of those fences are still standing, but most of them have been replaced by chain-link fences. Vinyl. When my family renovated our kitchen, we took up the old vinyl flooring and put down a hardwood floor. Vinyl. I love the vinyl floor in the bathroom because though it is made to look like tile, it is warmer and softer on bare feet. Vinyl. My friend is a vinyl fanatic. He has vinyl records, vinyl floors, vinyl clothing, a vinyl couch, and even the siding on his house is vinyl. Open concept. A popular trend in architecture right now is designing open concept buildings. Open concept. Open concept homes are spacious and bright, but the effect is only truly achieved when the decor is consistent between the adjoining rooms. Open concept. The open concept and soothing colours of the hotel lobby took my breath away as I walked through the revolving door. Eco-friendly. Carrying your groceries in a reusable cloth bag is more eco-friendly than using a new plastic one. Eco-friendly. My neighbours told me that they spray their lawn with an eco-friendly fertilizer. Eco-friendly. It seems that more and more businesses are becoming concerned about protecting the environment and are using their eco-friendly practices and values as a key point in their advertisements. All up on. A friend of mine is all up on the latest trends in fashion. All up on. When I was in high school, I was all up on finding a cure for cancer, but then I went to university and discovered that my real passion was composing music. All up on. My brother is an advocate for environmental awareness, so he's all up on crazy facts like how long it takes for a piece of plastic to disintegrate and how many fish die per year from ingesting garbage floating around in the ocean?